So I don't know if you saw the downtown Come and Go is closing.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, they announced that, and I was like, oh, turn it into a 7-Eleven. And then I went, oh no, but then we won't have content for the podcast next time we need to go to a 7-Eleven.
That's true. Road trip to the 7-Eleven.
We'll just be able to go. That won't be exciting. No, we need to be able to, like, drive 3 hours to it. Waste a whole afternoon driving around Minnesota.
Oh, there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back, listeners. Last time we frightened you with horror conspiracies so real, we definitively proved the existence of demons and aliens. This time, we'll see what lurks in the woods of the world, Jay. What's going on with them Bigfoots?
Also, this is Horror for the Holidays Stocking Stuffer. I'm Jay Logston. That's Jeff Searcy.
What's going on with them Bigfoots, Jay?
I don't know.
Them big feet?
Have I ever told you my Bigfoot thing where Bigfoot's real, but his special powers to his ability to be captured very blurrily on camera.
That is a good theory, Jay. But did you ever think that maybe Bigfoot is an alien?
I've heard that theory. I spent like a summer listening to the podcast Bigfoot Collectors Club. Wrote in a story, got laughed at, and then stopped listening because I took it personally, which I probably shouldn't have. But whatever. I'm a petty bitch.
So Jay Logston has personal beef in the Bigfoot community.
Well, mine was about black-eyed children. Maybe we could tell like real life scary stories, like scary things that have happened to us.
This is the perfect venue for that, Jay.
Yeah.
If you want to tell you some real life scary stories, go right ahead.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that sometime for a bonus episode.
Now, Jay, is Bigfoot an extraterrestrial? Some researchers think so. My favorite line in any article. Some researchers.
Yes, those acclaimed, accredited Bigfoot researchers.
All these Bigfoot researchers, Jay. Well, if it appeared on an episode of History Channel's Ancient Aliens, it has to be true, Jay.
Right.
So, is it possible for the creature known as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or any number of different names the world over? Is it possible that he's an interdimensional traveler, Jay?
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? So the thing I know, like the story I've heard, is the Skinwalker Ranch thing, where like some kind of portal opened up and Bigfoot crawled out of the portal or something. I don't know.
Well, I saw one theory that says that a race of aliens, Jay, same ones that built the pyramids, actually genetically engineered a strain of humans to be their laborers, and that's how we got the big feet.
I've always liked the idea, if Bigfoot is real, which once again, I'm open to like all this stuff being real. I just don't know that I believe that any of it's real. But like, wouldn't it be cool if it was? The one I've heard is that like when humans evolved, there were like other beings around the same time that evolved from different apes. And so there were like more large, like...
Yes. Well, one of the common theories, one of the more credible theories, if you're going to go credible on the Bigfoot theory, is the species of ape Gigantopithecus, which has some crossover, they think, with the existence of humans. He would have been like 8 to 9 feet tall, more ape-like with like a thick coat of fur, but possibly still around like early human, like Neanderthal intelligence level.
Okay.
So that's one possibility people think of, but that doesn't make sense because he stayed hidden all these years.
Right.
And he would be a giant ape roaming through the forest.
All of my all of my friends are taller than me. I mean, I'm short, that's not much, but I mean, Jeff, you tower over me, and my friend Kyle towers over me. So I mean, I know a thing or two about Bigfoots.
Jay Logston often encounters Sasquatches in his day-to-day life. Sasquatch. Anyway, Jay, let's hear from an expert. Enough of this bullshit we're dabbling in here. Let's hear from a paranormal expert. Which apparently Bigfoot is paranormal now, but whatever. Paranormal researcher William Hall was at the convention in the Greater New England UFO Conference, Jay, which we have to go to.
Oh, man, sometime, yeah, sure.
He was there to talk about ghosts, but someone pulled him aside, and he had a little bit to say about Bigfoot. So he began his career as a paranormal researcher with UFOs and aliens, and he said many of the classic signs of human encounters with otherworldly beings, ghosts, aliens, and Bigfoot, have similar signs. Be they disappearing beings, fast-moving objects, or strange lights. As a result, many are starting to think of the fields holistically, he said. Throw that little word in there. Holistically, aka we bash together whatever bullshit we want to. It's all related. Here's an interesting quote from esteemed Professor Hall. It used to be that the UFO people didn't talk to the ghost people because they were a little weird, and nobody would talk to the Bigfoot people because they were crazy. I found out we cannot continue to do that. In reality, quantum physics is leading us there. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Quantum physics is the main way you're going to figure out if Bigfoot is an alien, an interdimensional traveler, or just a monkey that lives in the woods, Jay. But no, this theory actually dates back to 1973. So more and more Bigfoot hunters, after the craze started in the late 60s, early 70s, suddenly we had Bigfoot sightings coming out of our ass, Jay.
Bigfoot fever.
So they reported, some Bigfoot hunters reported seeing strange orbs following him in photographs. Mm-hmm. And apparently strange orange lights in some cases when a Bigfoot appears. But renowned Bigfoot hunter Bill Brock was the first speaker to ever raise the idea about multi-dimensional portals, like Jay mentioned earlier. Perhaps a Bigfoot steps from one dimension into another, and that's why he seems to appear in our reality and then disappear just as quickly.
I mean, what would make that really, really interesting and neat is in Final Crisis, the DC story. There's like a hairy man towards the end, and like I think the metatextual reading is that's like the fiction suit that Grant Morrison puts on to like enter comic books, whatever. And so it would be kind of interesting to be like oh no, that like Grant Morrison's spot on, like it's more of like a hairy suit that these aliens put on to enter other dimensions or whatever.
Yes, that's very interesting. A very interesting theory, Jay. Now, we don't know what Bigfoot is or where he comes from, but perhaps we could introduce you to some variants of the Bigfoot, Jay. I'm assuming you've heard of the Yeti.
I have.
The Yeti, also known as an abominable snowman, is said to inhabit the Himalayan mountains of Tibet, Nepal, and Bhutan. Descriptions vary, but it is generally described as a large, ape-like creature covered in white fur.
Yes.
So you thinking this is a Bigfoot relative, Jay, or are you thinking it's its own thing?
Oh, I've always thought, like, certainly my mind, like, the Bigfoot and the abominable snowman are related, distant cousins or something.
What about the Yowie, Jay? You ever heard of the Yowie?
That's like that type of manga where with two guys, right?
Yes, Jay, but it's also an Australian large ape-like creature, similar to the Bigfoot. It's said to inhabit remote forest and mountain regions, primarily in the eastern states of New South Wales and Queensland, Jay.
Okay.
So you thinking this is a possible Bigfoot?
I would assume so. Same with skunk ape, right?
That is on here, Jay. The Almas. Have you ever heard of the Almas?
That's that wrestler that is really tall from Nigeria.
Ah, okay. Well, it's also an ape-like creature from Central Asia, Jay, and the Caucasus Mountains. It's described as wild, covered in reddish-brown hair, and it sticks to the forest and mountains of the region.
I think his name's Omos or Omos. I don't know. I don't watch much WWE anymore.
He's a Bigfoot. We'll throw him in there.
Might as well.
And of course, as Jay mentioned, we have the skunk ape, a variant, because see, America's so big, we have several variants of Bigfoot. And the skunk ape is in the southeastern United States, although some people suspect that a skunk ape may just be Florida man covered in an old gorilla suit.
I heard a story about like the skunk ape like one time. Of course, I'm not going to remember it exactly, but like I was listening to a podcast and someone was like, yeah, when I was a kid, I like saw the skunk ape in my backyard and it like stepped over our fence or jumped over our fence. And like, we had like a really tall fence or something like that. So I was like, oh, like, you know, what is this like, you know, it was one of those where it was like a comedy podcast. And I was like, what does this comedian have to gain by like making up this story? Like, I don't know, maybe skunk ape is real. Like,
I mean, it's very possible. I'm not saying, I don't want to discount the possibility that something like this could exist. I'm just saying, a lot of people, the evidence they put forward for it existing is pretty easy to poke holes in. All right, Jay. So you think there are various species of Bigfoot around the world, all interrelated. But what if I were to tell you that Bigfoot is not the only creature out there we have to worry about?
well, I mean, yeah, we had, here we are, Central Iowa, like what? 30 minutes west of us, not even that far, probably like 15 minutes west of us, there's a Van Meter. And the famous Van Meter visitor, the large pterodactyl that shot lightning out of its head or whatever.
Of course, Jay. Everywhere in the United States is haunted by horrible beasts, as documented in the acclaimed series Supernatural.
My favorite is the, I like, my favorite's the Van Meter visitor or the Mothman. But I do love what are the Fresno night walkers or whatever, the large-legged white sheets that walk around. I think those guys are great.
What about, there's a little creature you might have heard of, Jay, called the Loveland Frogman.
I heard that mentioned. I think they're getting a movie about that.
Oh, really?
I think a movie's coming out like next year or this year about I just read about it like the other day, but no, tell me more.
I didn't even know that there was a movie coming out, but yes. The Loveland Frogman, also known as the Loveland Frog or the Loveland Lizard, is a cryptid reported in Loveland, Ohio. The creature is described as being about 4 feet tall, bipedal, and having leathery skin, webbed hands and feet, and the head of a frog or lizard. The first reported sighting of the frogman was in 1955 when a local man claimed to have seen 3 frog-like creatures on the side of the road. He reported that one of the creatures held a wand that emitted sparks, and that the creatures quickly scurried away into the underbrush. We got some Harry Potter frogs here, folks.
I was gonna say, like, sounds like Billy and Mandy. Like, there's like the frog wizard or whatever in one of the episodes, shooting sparks out of its wand.
Ah. There have been several other reported. I wouldn't put it past them to make that a reference to the Loveland Frogman.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Billy and Mandy. Billy and Mandy is full of that kind of stuff.
But there have been several reported sightings over the years, Jay, with some witnesses claiming to see the creature near the Little Miami River. However, no physical evidence of the creature's existence has ever been found, leading many idiots, to believe that the sightings are hoaxes or misidentifications of known animals. But due to the lack of concrete evidence, the legend has passed into local folklore, and the creature remains a popular subject of discussion among cryptid enthusiasts, Jay. So what are you thinking? They're frog people in Ohio, besides the regular citizens?
I was going to say the regular people in Ohio. I mean, sure, like, once again, like, why not? Like, I mean, you know, it like I've said like a couple times already, like the world's more fun if like there are kind of interesting things going on.
No, I agree. It's a more interesting world for sure. If there's some frogmen out there in Ohio, Jay.
Right. If there's
using their magic wands to cause sparks to fly at each other.
You know, they're having Harry Potter wizard duels alongside the road.
I mean, that would be amazing to see. I mean, maybe we'll have to do some. Maybe when this podcast becomes insanely successful, Jay, we'll have to get ourselves an RV and travel the United States, check out some of these cryptid things for ourselves.
That'd be great. Go to the Mothman Museum.
Exactly. Well, what's your experience with the Mothman, Jay?
When I was in middle school, high school, I watched the Mothman Prophecies. Very, very kind of creepy movie. Has like I don't remember much about it, but I remember some of the scenes, and like there was some stuff that like was really kind of eerie. And then pay attention to the Mothman Museum account, and like the stories about the Mothman are really interesting. So I've always kind of been interested in that. I think I read the book too. The book was less fun than the movie.
Oh, really? Well, let me check into a little bit of info I just so happened to have pulled on the Mothman.
And his giant shiny butt. Now I believe the Mothman statue currently has a tramp stamp.
Really?
Yeah, I think someone put like a temporary like sticker that looks like a tribal tattoo on its like just above its butt.
Of course, Jay. So, I'm assuming you know where the Mothman originates, Jay.
Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Yes. He was first sighted between November 1966 and December 1967. No one's quite sure, which seems odd to me, but whatever. Descriptions of the Mothman vary, but is generally described as a humanoid creature with large wings, red glowing eyes, and a height of around 7 feet. Witnesses also report that the creature emits a high-pitched squeal or humming sound. The first reported sighting of the Mothman occurred on November 12, 1966, when 5 men were digging a grave at a cemetery near Clendon, West Virginia. They claimed to have seen a large creature flying over their heads. Over the following months, more sightings were reported with witnesses describing similar features. But the most famous sighting of the Mothman, and I'm assuming what inspired the Mothman prophecies that you're talking about, occurred on December 15th, 1967, when the Silver Bridge, which connects Point Pleasant to Gallipolis, Ohio, collapsed, resulting in the deaths of 46 people.
Yep.
Some people believe that the Mothman sightings were a warning of the impending disaster, while other idiots dismiss the connection as mere coincidence. These rubes, these morons who don't believe the Mothman.
The story the story that like stuck with me like in the kind of the research about it, and like when I've heard kind of the legend of the Mothman retold is like the two couples that like went out in their car and they were like over by like an abandoned mine, and then like the Mothman started chasing them, and like they were like kind of speeding in their car and like it was still able to keep up. Like that's the one that's always kind of stuck with me. It's kind of like, ooh, that's eerie. Like,
since the 1960s, there have been several sporadic reports of the Mothman around the world, leading to speculation about its origins and nature. Some theories suggest that the Mothman may not be a cryptid at all, but a supernatural being, while others propose that it may be a misidentified animal or a hoax. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the legend of the Mothman continues to mystify people to this day.
I know. I love the Mothman.
I know. I've heard you talk about the Mothman before. Jay Logston discusses Mothman lore outside of the podcast.
No, that like I said, that movie and some of those stories kind of like stuck with me, and probably might be my earliest, besides like my personal kind of Christmas ghost story thing. That might be like my earliest like creepy Christmas thing. Is the Mothman prophecies does have the whole thing about like when that bridge collapsed, it was right around Christmas time, and like people were having visions of like water of like the water of the bridge like with Christmas presents floating in it or whatever. That might be like my earliest kind of creepy Christmas
okay,
kind of thing.
So connecting it all back to the Horror for the Holidays franchise.
Yep.
All right, Jay. So we've been focused on some American cryptids, some things that are big over here. What about a foreign cryptid, Jay? You want to know what's going on over there in Indonesia?
Sure.
You know what they're getting up to over there?
Giant snakes.
I'll tell you what they're getting up to over there, Jay. Giant bats.
Oh.
You ever heard of an ahul?
I have not.
An ahul is a cryptid reported to live in the rainforests of Java in Indonesia. Descriptions of the ahul vary, but it is generally said to be a large bat-like creature with a wingspan of up to 12 feet, which that's incredibly scary if that's true.
Right.
It's often described as having black or gray fur, sharp claws, and a face resembling that of a monkey or ape.
Ooh.
Oh, do we have a Bigfoot adapted for hunting prey in the sky? Perhaps.
Maybe.
Some experts say yes. Me.
Us.
The Ahul. See, I can do it too. News.
Yeah, take that guy on Ancient Aliens with his curly hair and his
crazy
alien
hair.
thing.
Yep. Aliens. The Ahul is said to be nocturnal and feed primarily on fish, which it catches by swooping down from the trees and using its sharp claws to grab from the water. Must be some pretty damn big fish.
Right.
If it's supporting a bat that large. It's also reported to emit a distinct cry, a loud, eerie wail. Sounds almost like a woman being strangled. Interesting description.
Very interesting.
I wonder if it's a woman being strangled.
I mean, that's the thing is they say like foxes sound like people screaming or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, they do.
And
it's creepy.
And so there was one night, like my wife and I were asleep, and we have foxes kind of in our neighborhood, and I woke up because like I thought someone was being murdered, and then I'm like, it was probably a fox. I hope it was a fox.
The first reported sighting of an Ahul was in the early 20th century when Dr. Ernest Bartel, a Dutch scientist who was exploring the rainforests of Java, encountered one in the dead of night, Jay. It swooped down on his party and attempted to carry off a goat they'd brought for milk.
Ooh.
Since then, there have been several other sightings of the Ahul by locals and explorers, but no conclusive evidence of its existence has ever been found. Oh, yes, everybody with their conclusive evidence and proof these things exist. Give it a rest, people. The Ahul is out there. He's probably in an alliance with interdimensional Bigfoot.
I was gonna say the thing about goats. Oh, it's a winged chupacabra.
Oh, my God. Didn't even think of that. What if it's draining their blood, Jay?
You know, some kind of goat sucker.
So some cryptozoologists believe that the Ahul may be a giant bat or a surviving species of pterosaur. However, without more concrete evidence, the true nature of the Ahul remains a mystery.
And I mean, makes our giant pterosaur better. Van Meter Visitor can shoot lightning from its head.
That's true. That is much better.
Yeah, much cooler.
Let's see. I think everybody knows about a little creature, Jay, around a place we are trying to go, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. There's a creature that lives around New Jersey. Do you know what that's called, Jay?
Well, I mean, I do. I was trying to think of a funny joke, but I couldn't think of one. So, the Jersey Devil.
Of course, Jay. But what is the Jersey Devil? And where does it strike, Jay? Do you know?
What, like the Pine Barrens?
Yes, the Pine Barrens of southern New Jersey. Descriptions of this beast vary, but is generally described as bipedal with hooves, a horse head, bat-like wings, and a forked tail. Got some chimera vibes. It's said to a lot of these creatures emit a blood-curdling scream associated with strange occurrences in the area. So apparently you hear a blood-curdling scream in southern New Jersey, you better watch out, Jay.
But it also might just be that you're in New Jersey.
As I say, it could just be the New Jersey Mafia murdering somebody out in the Pine Barrens. But no, Jay, it's a Jersey Devil.
So isn't the story... I don't know if are you going to get into
Oh, we're getting into this, Jay. I'm not going to let you all off that easy. All right, the legend of the Jersey Devil dates back to the early 18th century, with the creature reportedly being the 13th child of a woman named Mother Leeds. According to the legend, Mother Leeds cursed her unborn child when she learned that she was pregnant with a 13th child, which, I mean, I'd be cursing that too. I'm surprised the husband didn't curse that.
Right.
Saying the child would be born the devil. When the child was born, the curse transformed it into the first Jersey Devil, and it flew up a chimney, escaping into the Pine Barrens. You know, in a time back when New Jersey was a lot more wild than it is today.
Right.
Since then, there have been numerous reported sightings of the Jersey Devil, as well as tales of livestock being killed and strange footprints being found in the area. Man, these things love to leave strange footprints and fuck with livestock.
Right.
Seems like a common theme throughout a lot of these bastard monsters haunting our steps. All right. So there's no concrete evidence of its existence, despite efforts to capture it, Jay. Which I hear blah, 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 blah. No, that's not a Jersey Devil. It's probably just a wolf or something. Whatever.
That's not a badger. That's just Millhouse.
The legend of the Jersey Devil has become a part of New Jersey folklore, with various explanations proposed, including misidentified animals, hoaxes, and mass hysteria. Oh yes, I'm sure there's just mass hysteria that a woman had a devil child that flew off into the Pine Barrens and now harasses livestock. However, the mystery continues to captivate the imaginations of people around the world. So after a brief return there, let's talk about something truly alien, Jay. Let's head to Mongolia.
Okay.
You ever heard of the Mongolian death worm?
I've maybe briefly, yeah.
In Mongolian, it is Alugai korokai, which translates to intestine worm due to its resemblance to a cow's intestine. It's reported to live in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia, which people talk a lot about the Sahara Desert, but apparently the Gobi Desert is just as harsh, if not even more harsh.
I think that's what I've heard, yeah.
So yeah, brutal desert over there. So apparently, in addition to your usual desert worries, you also have intestine worms trying to drag you down to hell, Jay.
Awesome.
Descriptions of the creature vary, but they generally say it's a large, bright red, worm-like creature measuring between 2 and 5 feet long and about 2 inches thick. So, if you're getting a 5-foot one of these, Jay, you better watch out.
Right.
It's said to spend most of its time underground, only emerging during the summer months when the ground is wet during the brief period of rain the Gobi Desert gets every year. It is believed to be able to kill from a distance by spitting a venomous substance. Ah, shit. Or by releasing an electric shock. Jesus, this thing has everything.
Yeah, man. I'd rather take on a Bigfoot than one of these guys.
I'd take on 3 big feet, Jay. And maybe even on a hool. So some reports claim that it can even kill prey by simply touching it. So if this thing even touches you, you die, Jay. The first recorded sighting of a Mongolian deathworm by a Westerner, which of course we know are the only reliable sources, was in 1926 when paleontologist Roy Chapman Andrews heard stories of the creature from locals during an expedition to the Gobi Desert to find dinosaur bones. Since then, there have been several sightings reported, but no conclusive evidence. Oh, there's no conclusive evidence. The same old, same old.
Right.
When are we going to wake up, people? We're going to stop being sheep to the corporate media and realize what kind of creatures are out there stalking our wastelands. Many scientists and researchers believe, oh, of course, the good old many scientists,
right.
Researchers believe that the Mongolian deathworm is a myth or a case of mistaken identity. Oh yeah, mistaken identity, Jay. A big red worm that comes up and kills you by touching you.
With electric powers.
Yes, that's totally another animal out there. God, scientists, Jay. I'm mad and they're getting me pissed.
Violent Jeff.
Exactly.
Shaggy 2 Jeff.
I'm Shaggy 2 Jeff and you're Violent Jay.
Oh no.
Hey, you get to be the smarter one. I'm the one who just goes, yeah.
I've not listened to a say. You know, random aside, ICP gets a lot of shit. Like it seems like they're actually like pretty good people.
I mean, they're
like,
pretty nice guys.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with. I'd say if they can make a living with their music and people like it, that's their thing.
Yeah, good for them.
I'm not going to criticize them.
Yeah, we're a pro ICP podcast. We'll just say that.
But all I could tell you, Jay, is motherfucking scientists lying and they getting me pissed about these cryptids
and how magnets work.
Yes, fucking magnets. How do they? Another brief aside. Did you see that little Trump blurb about magnets?
How he could spill water on it and make them stop.
Magnets. Magnets go in the water, Jay. That's the end of magnets.
Yeah. Once again, how do magnets work?
No one knows, Jay. No one knows. But I can tell you what no one also knows. None of these so-called scientists know anything about this Mongolian deathworm, Jay. Oh, yeah, it's a snake or a lizard out in the desert that people are hallucinating is a monster that can kill you by touching you. Yeah, sure, people, sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to wonder what these people are thinking, Jay. So that's all well and good. We've had some American cryptids. We've had some international cryptids. Jay, you ever heard of a little cryptid called the chupacabra?
I have.
Tell me what you know about the chupacabra.
It drinks goat blood.
Yes. Anything else?
No, that's about it.
Well, what if I told you that the chupacabra was actually a U.S. government experiment from Area 51 that escaped and was now terrorizes the people of northern Mexico and southern Texas?
I don't know that I'd believe you, but all right.
You should believe me, Jay. Many experts tell me that the chupacabra is a government experiment or possible interdimensional alien. Perhaps we're dealing with another ally of Bigfoot, Jay.
Oh no, the Bigfoots and the chupacabras have teamed up.
But yes, Jay, they do drain blood. So, what do you think would be the reason? So, give me some theories why you think a chupacabra would drain blood, Jay.
Because it's a vampire. No,
It's a vampire, Jay, but a vampire of what?
Goats.
But what kind of creature is it to begin with? See, some people think it's like a weird little monkey-like creature, Jay. Some people think it's more of a reptilian. What do you think?
So in my mind, granted, everything we see is kind of, is influenced by, pop culture and media. Like I've always assumed that like green, maybe kind of like lizard-like, but like more like walks on like two legs, like bipedal. So yeah, it's maybe a combination almost of like a monkey and a lizard.
Yes, that's a common, an expert opinion, Jay, says that it is a hybrid monkey lizard. It was a crossbreeding experiment from the government research labs at Area 51, and it was supposed to drain the blood of communists in the jungles of Vietnam, Jay. But it escaped before it was ready.
And now it's drinking goats.
Yes, it's somehow multiplying, even though their theory is there's only one. But there's multiple chupacabras, apparently. All right. But the spread, Latin American folklore of this creature is spread beyond its original area, Jay. So the chupacabra, also known as the goat sucker, is a legendary creature in Latin American folklore, particularly in Mexico, Puerto Rico, and the southwestern United States. The chupacabra is said to be a small, reptilian or mammalian creature with spikes or quills running down its back. It is often described as having large red eyes and sharp fangs for sucking blood. The legend of the chupacabra first emerged in the 1970s with reportings of a strange lizard-like creature draining blood, but the legend was not codified into the chupacabra myth we know today until the 1990s, with reports of livestock, particularly goats, being found dead with puncture wounds and drained of blood. The name chupacabra comes from the Spanish words chupar, to suck, and cabra, goat.
Okay.
Reflecting the creature's supposed habit and favoring of goats as prey. But apparently, goats can attack any animal, including some reports of attempted attacks on humans.
Oh, wow.
So don't think just because it's a goat sucker you'll be safe, Jay. Descriptions of the chupacabra vary wildly, with some reports labeling it a small kangaroo-like creature with leathery skin, while others describe it as a large reptilian monster. Despite the lack of, here we go again, Jay, concrete evidence, sightings of the chupacabra continue to be reported. It remains a popular creature in Latin American folklore. Here we go again. Many scientists and researchers, Jay, believe that the chupacabra is an urban legend and a combination of folklore and misidentified animals. Some subjects... you want to hear what these scientists think, Jay?
Yeah.
Some think that the chupacabra were attacks by wild dogs or coyotes. Oh yeah, wild dogs and coyotes, Jay, famous for draining the blood of their victims with small puncture-like holes on their neck. Some attribute the legend to mass hysteria or sensationalism in the media. Jay, when has the media ever been sensationalist? Not once.
Certainly not us.
Certainly not us, Jay. We report straight facts only. This is a factual podcast.
Like the fact that Two Front Teeth was a really fun movie.
I mean, it was a really great movie. See, we're factual. Well, I mean, in today's modern world, anything can claim it's factual. So we are a factual podcast, Jay. We're just reporting on what we see. All right, so we've had some Jersey Devils. We've had some chupacabras, Jay. But what about some monsters? So there are cryptids out there that some people describe as bordering on horrific. Have you ever heard of a Pengnalagan, Jay?
No, but it kind of sounds familiar. I don't know.
It's from Malaysia. So another trip back to Asia here for us. It's a female vampire-like creature that detaches its head from its body at night, with its internal organs dangling below.
Awesome.
And it feeds on the blood of pregnant women and infants.
That sounds amazing.
So I would be horrified to see such a creature.
Right, no, absolutely.
That sounds like incredibly scary. Just have a head dangling internal organs come along and drain the blood of a pregnant woman or baby. Okay, so maybe you're like, head vampire. We've seen it before. These vampires always trying to get head, Jay.
Right.
What about a Yaramayahu?
No idea.
It's an Australian creature. It's described as small and red in Aboriginal folklore with suckers on its fingers and toes. It uses these suckers to drink blood. And when it's hungry enough, it swallows a victim whole, later regurgitating them to convert them into more Yaramayahus.
Ooh.
So it's a combination like Chupacabra and Body Snatcher.
Oh, man.
Pretty spooky.
That is pretty spooky.
So have you ever heard of a Krasu, Jay?
Sure haven't.
It's from Thailand. It's a female spirit that appears as a floating head with its internal organs hanging down.
Oh, man.
We have a possible relative of the Malaysian monster. It feeds on animals and humans by using its entrails as tentacles to search for food and devours them in its maw. So, creepy floating head octopus using its intestines as tentacles. Pretty spooky.
I bet Junji Ito has drawn something that looks like this.
Oh,
and it's probably terrifying.
Oh, I'm sure. So, have you ever heard of a churel?
I have not.
It's an Indian spirit. It's a ghost of a woman who died during childbirth or during pregnancy. It returns as a hideous vampire creature with a long hanging tongue, which it uses to latch around the throats of the living, especially children, and drain their life force.
Ooh.
But what about a Noparabu, Jay?
Sure haven't.
It's a Japanese ghost with a featureless, smooth face that appears human from a distance. It's known to sometimes scare and unsettle humans so much it leads them to madness.
Oh, man, I bet.
Ever heard of a Groot slang, Jay?
Well, Groot was the guy from Marvel Comics.
Oh, yeah. But what about a Groot slang, Jay?
I assume it's one that kind of copped an attitude, and now he's talking in slang.
How did you know? It's a South African creature said to dwell deep. So this is a South African cryptid, Jay. It's a Groot slang. It dwells deep in the Richtersveld cave in South Africa.
Okay.
It's described as an immense elephant-snake hybrid with incredible strength and above human cunning and intelligence.
That sounds terrifying.
So yes, we have basically an elephant centaur, but the top half is an elephant, the bottom half is a gigantic python, and it's described as more clever than a human. So,
that's terrifying.
You go down in that cave, Jay, you're not coming back.
I'm certainly not going in any caves in South Africa.
Let's see. Our neighbors to the north, Jay. There's some Inuit populations left that still live in the traditional way in Canada. You ever heard of an Akagini?
I have probably not.
It's a spirit that inhabits the wilderness and appears as a giant disembodied head. It lures unsuspecting travelers to their doom through promises of food and warmth.
That's terrifying.
So yeah, Jay, if you're ever lost in the Canadian wilderness, do not believe a giant floating head that it has a safe place for you to rest.
Oh, well, none of them have steered me wrong so far.
You may have heard of this one. It's from Slavic folklore. It's called a Leshy.
It does sound familiar.
It's a forest spirit that appears as a tall humanoid figure that blends into the bark of trees. It leads travelers astray, and they become lost in the woods and die. So, pretty creepy.
It is pretty creepy.
But what would you say, Jay, if I told you that there was a final cryptid we had to discuss?
Oh, I'm excited.
What you got any guesses? Because we talked about quite a few common ones so far.
We have. Oh man, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like we've talked about some, and I've mentioned some that I like. So I'm trying to think of one that we haven't talked about. Um,
Because I know you're into some of this stuff, so you
Yeah.
may know it.
I mean, I guess the big ones we haven't talked about are the Loch Ness Monster and Champ and other.
We can do a quick discussion of those if you want. So what do you know about the Loch Ness Monster and Champ and other plesiosaurs dwelling in our modern world, Jay?
I mean, I think those are ones that I think I have like the least like kind of interest in. Like they certainly like the Loch Ness Monster seems pretty well debunked by this point.
What do you mean, Jay? It's clearly a giant dinosaur at the bottom of Loch Ness.
Right, but-
even though it's been charted multiple times, and
Right.
an entire sonar image has been taken of the bottom.
But I mean, once again, it would be cool if it exists. But yeah, I don't know. That's one that I certainly kind of go at this point. I'm like, yeah, there's no Loch Ness Monster. Once again, it would be cool if there was, but there isn't.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am. I know Loch Ness Monster is one of the first cryptids I ever heard of and was fascinated with. I watched a History Channel documentary of trying to prove that it was real. And
Is it the one with Leonard Nimoy?
yes.
It's so like we'll get Leonard Nimoy, like acclaimed like actor, to talk about like these people who go up to Scotland to search for the Loch Ness.
We're talking about
Monster.
this Loch Ness Monster, Jay. All right, but that's not what we're talking about for our final cryptid. You ever heard of the Dover Demon, Jay?
I don't think I have.
It's a creature from Dover, Massachusetts. And the sightings happened over the course of 2 days in 1977. It's described as having a humanoid shape, but with a disproportionately large head and glowing eyes. It's said to be hairless, have orange skin, and long, thin fingers. It was spotted by multiple witnesses, including teenagers and a police officer, which adds to the credibility of the sightings somewhat. Despite extensive searches and investigations, no conclusive evidence of the Dover Demon's existence has ever been found, making it an elusive cryptid even by modern folklore standards. So what do you think this Dover Demon could have been, Jay?
I don't know, but it sounds terrifying.
As I say, it sounds really creepy. And yeah, I mean, normally I wouldn't say a police officer sighting lends much more credibility to something. But I mean, I guess they can lose their job if they start spouting crazy nonsense.
Right.
So it is a little bit of a risk to say, yes, I definitely saw this thing.
The one did you watch that all this kind of reminded me of, did you watch on Peacock that John Carpenter's like Neighborhood Nightmares or whatever they call it?
Yes.
The Bunny Man one. Like that was creepy, but it was also one of those where I was sitting there and I was like, you're expecting me to believe the Bunny Man has lived for like over 100 years or something like that, and is like still hunting, is still hunting down people in this neighborhood today.
Of course it is, Jay. The Bunny Man is immortal.
But yeah, I just thought that one was kind of funny.
So we've thoroughly debunked the claims of scientists and experts, Jay, and definitively proven that cryptids are real and they haunt our world, basically our entire world. I don't think there's any place, maybe Antarctica, but I'm sure a scientist down there has seen some kind of cryptid, Jay.
I mean, there's a whole movie about
There's
scientists in Antarctica.
I mean, there's a documentary, obviously, by John Carpenter.
By the
you were
great
just
John
talking about.
Carpenter.
This documentary about the Thing, Jay, which is an extraterrestrial, possibly. I don't know.
Man, what a great movie.
Could be an interdimensional traveler like Bigfoot. We don't know.
It could be.
But many experts agree, Jay, that the Thing is real.
Many experts agree that John Carpenter is an excellent filmmaker.
Yes, that's true, Jay. But of course, he makes documentary films, so.
An excellent documentarian.
Yes. All right, Jay. We couldn't get out of here without a quiz.
All right.
I got a cryptid quiz for you.
Well, before we do that, I have something for you.
Oh, boy. A surprise on my own surprise episode?
Oreo dirt cake with gummy worm inspired sprinkles on top.
Excellent.
So let's try these real fast, and then we'll do our quiz.
I actually brought dirt cake pudding cups to preschool, Jay, when it was my turn to bring snacks.
Oh, so good. Love a dirt cup or whatever.
Yeah.
Last year, I think both Ben and Jerry's, maybe it was 2 years ago, Ben and Jerry's and Dairy Queen both did like dirt cup. And those dirt cup blizzards at Dairy Queen might be like a top tier blizzard. Like they were so dang good. Like they would put like the pudding mix into the soft serve, and it just gave it this nice, like very like different kind of texture to the ice cream. Oh my god, it was amazing. The gummy worms they used were great. I was so impressed. And sadly, they haven't brought it back. Hopefully, they bring it back this year.
They should. It was good. I tried it out in your recommendation.
But yeah, no, these they're regular Oreos. They've got
They got kind of like a darker cream filling. Looks like a brownie flavor, maybe.
Yep.
You can see the little flecks of sprinkle in there.
I was really hoping like maybe there'd be like chopped up gummy worms mixed in, but like I understand that might be kind of hard to do.
Yeah, prohibitively expensive, probably.
But yeah, if you look on the top, there's like sprinkles on the cookies. Yellow, blue, orange, red, purple, like all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they look amazing. The Oreo cream has like a very different consistency, I think, to the normal
It does.
stuff.
It's a lot thicker.
But yeah, these are I think these are a buy.
No, definitely. They're great. Great flavor. It's almost like the cream has there's two pieces of cream, one lighter brown like brownie and one darker like supposed to be the Oreo crumbles, I'm guessing.
That's kind of my thought as well. No, the oh shit, I had a joke I was gonna make and now I can't remember it.
Another joke by J-Lock.
We'll see if I remember it when we're done, but I doubt it.
Well, we'll see if this quiz jogs your memory, Jay.
All right.
So yeah, good Oreos. Bye, definitely.
No, I think no, yeah, I think these are a buy. Like these are fantastic.
All right, Jay. Bonus points if you can answer the questions without multiple choice.
Okay.
What is the name of the lake monster said to inhabit Loch Ness?
The Loch Ness Monster.
Of course.
Or Nessie.
Yes, Nessie was the nickname they were looking for. Which cryptid is often described as a large ape-like creature similar to a Bigfoot and inhabits the Himalayas?
Ahul.
The Yeti.
Oh no, yeah, I don't know why I heard bat, not ape. Yes, the Yeti or the abominable little snowman.
You mentioned this monster, so this should be easy for you. In North American folklore, what is the name of the lake monster said to inhabit Lake Champlain?
Champ.
Of course, Jay. Which cryptid, also known as a chupacabra, is said to attack and drink the blood of livestock?
Wait, what? the chupacabra, the goat sucker. I don't know. Is there another one?
Apparently there is, Jay.
All right.
Apparently, another way to say chupacabra is O. Henley.
Okay. Oh, Henry.
Yes, O. Henry. What is the name of the mythical creature from Native American folklore said to bring bad luck and death to those who encounter it?
I mean, well, I don't know that it's. I was gonna say the Mothman based off the second part of your question. I don't know.
That's not really That's not Native American.
Yeah,
folklore.
no, that's where the problem is. I don't know. Maybe the Wendigo.
Correct.
All right.
Jay. The Mothman is a cryptid often cited in what U.S. state?
West Virginia.
Of course. In Australian folklore, what is a mythical creature said to inhabit the outback and resemble a large predatory bird? It's got a weird name, Jay.
I have no idea.
A drop bear.
Oh wow.
Which is apparently a bird, Jay. What the hell is going on over there in Australia?
Yeah, we need to quarantine the whole nation until we can figure out what's going on.
I have actually heard of this one before. What is the name of the mythical creature from Scottish folklore said to inhabit the Highlands and resemble a large saber-toothed cat?
Oh, it sounds familiar, but I don't know off the top of my head.
It's a Kellis cat.
Okay.
Which cryptid is often described as a large flying reptile that inhabits Papua New Guinea?
A dragon.
A ropan, Jay.
Okay.
Apparently it's a pterodactyl-like creature native to New Guinea.
Okay.
Supposedly.
Can it shoot lightning out of its head? Don't think so.
Yeah,
visitor.
I was going to say, I don't think it can, Jay. What is the name of the mythical Scandinavian creature said to inhabit the sea and resemble a giant squid or octopus?
The Kraken?
Of course. Who could get Kraken on a quiz like this but Jay Logston? In Native American folklore, we're going back, what creature is said to inhabit the forests and resemble a large, hairy humanoid? We're looking for a specific type of Bigfoot here, Jay.
Oh, man.
It's a common name for a Bigfoot.
Sasquatch?
Yes,
okay.
a Sasquatch. What is the name of the mythical creature from Irish folklore said to resemble a large black cat with a white spot on its chest?
I have... Ooh. I was gonna say I don't know. I was gonna say like the Black Beast of Exmoor, but I think that's England.
Cat Sith.
Okay.
Jay. It's a Sith, and it only deals in absolutes.
And it's also a character in Final Fantasy VII.
Ah, okay. Which cryptid, often described as a large sea serpent-like creature, inhabits the waters off of British Columbia, Jay? And it has a really funny name that's fun to say.
Oigo Poigo?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, we just learned about this cryptid, Jay. The Loveland frog is a cryptid associated with which U.S. state?
Ohio.
Yes. In Japanese folklore, what is the name of a mythical creature said to inhabit the mountains and resemble a large ape-like creature? We got another Bigfoot on our hands.
Oh man, I don't know.
It's a tengu.
Ooh.
So there's a Japanese Bigfoot as well, Jay. What is the name of the mythical creature from African folklore that is said to resemble a large dinosaur-like creature? And I have actually heard of this one before.
I don't think I know.
Emele Intuku.
Okay.
And the reason I've heard of it is because a crazy Christian church here in the United States actually funded an expedition to hunt it down, I believe in the 1960s.
Of course they did.
Which actually led to many deaths by a creature called the boom slang, Jay, which is a real snake that lives in Central Africa.
Oh, amazing.
But yes, they were wandering through the jungle trying to find a giant dinosaur, and a bunch of them died of disease and snake bites. Very silly things. All right, Jay. What is a cryptid? Which cryptid, often described as a large, hairy humanoid, is said to inhabit the forests of North America?
Bigfoot.
Oh, yes, of course, Jay. The Beast of Bray Road is a cryptid associated with which U.S. state?
Oh shit.
It's a close one. I'll give you that hint.
Okay. I can picture it. Wisconsin, I want to say.
Yes.
Okay.
You are correct, sir.
And isn't it like a werewolf? I think that's kind
some
of
people believe
it's
is
like a wolf
werewolf
man or
creature,
something.
yes. In South American folklore, what is the name of the mythical creature that inhabits the Amazon rainforest and resembles a large snake?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a Yaku Mama.
Okay.
Apparently it's a giant, some people believe it is a giant python-like creature, and some people believe that it's like a human who transforms into a python-like creature.
Oh, cool.
So we got a were-snake on our hands, Jay.
You want were-snakes? This is how you get were-snakes.
What is the name of the mythical creature from Native American folklore that inhabits the wilderness of the northwestern United States?
Could you read that one again?
What is the name of the mythical creature from Native American folklore that inhabits the northwestern forests of the United States?
And it's not Sasquatch?
It is not a Sasquatch, no.
There's another one?
Yes.
I have no idea.
Apparently is a Fouquet monster.
Okay.
So another Bigfoot relative we got around here, Jay. Got so many big feet. Tripping over them.
Too many big feet.
Which cryptid, also known as the Yeti, inhabits the Himalayas?
The abominable little snowman.
Yes. They're looking for another name. Oh, Jay, you gotta know this one. What is the Flatwoods Monster, and which state does it come from?
Oh, shit. That does sound familiar, but I don't think I'm going to be able to pull that out.
It's believed to be a bear-like creature, and it is associated with West Virginia.
Okay.
Just like the Mothman.
Weird.
What is a large creature known in Native American folklore to inhabit the southwestern United States, often carrying off its victims? It's also a kind of car.
It's also a kind of... Oh, man, I was going to say a Hogzilla.
No.
Hogzilla.
That carries off Joe Bob's.
And then he was a ghost the whole time?
Of course. You didn't catch on to the signs. The signs that didn't exist for the rest of the movie.
Oh, what a movie that was.
But yes, it's a kind of car. And popular Native American symbol.
Oh, shoot. I don't know.
A thunderbird, Jay.
Oh, of course.
Which type of creature from Scandinavian folklore is said to inhabit the mountains and have a stony hide?
Troll.
Correct. Which cryptids, often described as large flying reptiles, inhabit the swamps of Florida?
I don't know.
It's called an ali.
Okay.
which also could just be a Florida man in a bat suit.
Right.
Trying to glide from tree to tree out in the Everglades. The Fresno Nightcrawler is a cryptid associated with which U.S. state, Jay?
California. And they're big, like, sheet guys that have, like, two very long legs. They look amazing.
We got some more Native American folklore for you here, Jay. What creature inhabits the forests of the central United States and resembles a large deer-like creature?
That monster from the movie The Ritual.
Sure, Jay.
All right.
It's called a pukwudgie.
Okay, no idea.
What is the name of the mythical creature from Irish folklore that resembles a large eel?
No idea.
It's the Dobar Chew.
Okay.
The Dover Demon is associated with which U.S. state, Jay?
Did we say Massachusetts?
Correct.
All right.
All right, Jay. What is the name of the mythical African creature said to resemble a large ape-like creature? We have big feet on every continent at this point.
Oh, man. I don't remember what you said the name was.
It's an Agoué.
Okay.
Which cryptid is a large aquatic reptile that is said to inhabit the waters off of British Columbia, Jay?
Ooh. I don't know.
It is a Manipogo.
Okay.
I'm guessing related to the Oigopogo.
I would assume so, yeah.
The Beast of Bodmin Moor is associated with which country, Jay?
I'm going to say England based off the name.
Correct. In Native American folklore, what creature is a large cat-like being that stalks the forests?
Native American lore? I don't know.
A piasa.
Okay.
And for our final question, Jay, the Alamata is a cryptid associated with which U.S. state?
Ooh, okay. I'm probably, I got 1 out of 50 chances.
I'll narrow down a geographic region for you. Southeastern United States.
Okay. So I was going to say based off the name Alabama. Let's say, Georgia. Why not?
You guessed correctly.
All right.
He did it, folks. Now that we've conclusively proved science to be bunk, Jay, and we've proven the existence of aliens, demons, and cryptids, who knows what'll happen next? But Jay Logsdon has an announcement for our next film, I believe.
Yeah, well, so as you guys know, last year for St. Patrick's Day, we released Maniac Cop, the Bruce Campbell, Robert Z'Dar classic. Well, as we all know, immediately after St. Patrick's Day comes Christmas.
Yes.
And so we're going to be doing Maniac Cop 2.
Jay, many experts believe that Christmas does in fact come right after St. Patrick's Day.
Literally, it is St. Patrick's Day on the events of Maniac Cop. It is implied that Maniac Cop 2 happens the night after the events happened, and now it's suddenly Christmas in New York City.
Jay, I've talked to many researchers, and they've told me that in their conclusive research, Bruce Campbell may be one of the greatest actors of all time.
He probably is. But yeah, let's, if you want to get in touch with us on social media, we are all the places except Facebook, I think, at horror4 holidays. So Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Threads, Twitter X. Yeah.
Got youtube.com/horror for the holidays. Subscribe, hit the bell button, which is the real subscribe button. Listen to our show, spread the word, tell a friend. It's the most useful thing you can do for the show.
Post who your favorite cryptid from your state is in the comments of that YouTube
Talk
video.
about some local folklore for us. Let us know what kind of other creatures we should be definitively proving exist.
Yeah, we'll do it again. Send us an email, horrorfortheholidays@gmail.com. And, tell a friend, leave a review on your podcatcher of choice, all those fun things.
Many experts agree, Jay, that Horror for the Holidays is the best podcast on the internet.
Certainly, I mean, my wife tells me that it's a very good podcast.
Research has shown, Jay, that the podcast is an interdimensional ape-like being that travels between realities.
Oh, boy. But yeah, we'll see you next week with
If any cryptid-based podcasts want to have me as a guest, I will be an expert on any cryptid that you need me to be.
Yeah, we'd do that. That'd be fun. But yeah, we'll see you again next week with a regular episode, and then we'll be back with another stocking stuffer.
Thank you, Jay, for indulging another one of my crazy conspiracy-fueled rants.
Oh, it was a blast.
All right, have a good one.
All right, bye.
Goodbye.
Jeff, it's a real shame. I remembered my joke. It's a real shame that an Oreo serving size is 2 cookies.
Ah, that is terrible.